This video contains the activity of the graph of a function. The first activity is a multiple answer, meaning the answer can be two or more choices. The question is, which of the following graphs represent functions? So to answer this question, you can use the vertical line test. The vertical line test states that the graph is the graph of a function if every vertical line intersects the graph in at most one point. So choose your answer. The next activity is a matching type question. Match each of the following functions, A to E, with the graph that best describes the situation. So there's a graph 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can match this function according to this graph. Answer the question. In this activity, consider the function f of x equal to 4 minus x squared divided by x squared minus x minus 2. First, find the domain of the given function. So in finding the domain of the given function, since this is a rational function, the domain is that the denominator cannot be 0. So equate the denominator to 0 to check the domain or to find the domain of the function. Next is finding the y-intercept. The y-intercept is the point where the graph intersects the y-axis and is obtained by substituting x equal to 0. So since f of x is a function notation for y, so you can place f of x by y and substitute x by 0 to find for the value of y, which is the y-intercept. Next question is finding the x-intercepts, if any. The definition of x-intercept: this is a point where the graph intersects the x-axis and is obtained by substituting y equal to 0. So, since f of x is equal to y, substitute f of x by 0 and equate to this fraction and then solve the equation. Then the next question is, find the x when f of x is equal to 1. So, f of x is the value of y. So you will substitute 1 in f of x. So 1 is equal to this fraction. Then find the value of x by cross multiplication. Then after finding x and the value of y is equal to 1, so the next question is, what point or points is r on the graph of f of x? So the point represents xy. So whatever is the value of x and then the y is equal to 1, so that is a point on the graph of f. The next question is the point 0, 3/2 on the graph of f? To be able to know whether this point is in the graph of this function f, substitute 0 in the x and check if the y value is 3/2. And actually, this 0, 3/2, this means this is y-intercept. The y-intercept is 3/2. If the y-intercept in letter B is not equal to 3/2, meaning the answer here is no. In this activity, consider the graph of the function given below. First question is, what is the domain and range of the function f? As a hint, in a graph, the domain consists of all x values for which the function has corresponding points on the graph. So you will look at the horizontal and possible x values, while the range consists of all y values in the vertical, which the function has corresponding x values in the graph and represented by points on this graph. So check the answer for the domain and range. Next question is, what are the y-intercepts? As a hint, the y-intercept is the point where the graph of the function crosses the y-axis. It represents the value of the function when x is equal to 0. So answer the question. The next question in C, for what x values such that f of x is equal to -2? So as a hint, it is simply asking in the graph what is or what are the x value when y is -2? So based on the graph, find your answer. For question letter D, what is the value of f of 4? So as a hint, it is simply asking in the graph, what is the y value when x is equal to 4? So write your answer. For question E, for what x value such that f of x is greater than or equal to 0? So as a hint, it means what are the x values where the graph is on or above the x-axis, or where y is greater or equal to 0, or f of x is greater than or equal to 0. So write your answer. For question F, for what x value such that f of x is greater than 0? So as a hint, it means we are finding for the x values where the graph is above the x-axis, or where y is greater than 0, or f of x is greater than 0. So select your answer. And for question G, for what x values such that f of x is less than or equal to 0? It means what are the x values where the graph is on or below the x-axis, or where y is less than or equal to 0? Select your answer. For question H, for what x value such that f of x is less than 0? So it means what are the x values where the graph is below the x-axis, or where y is less than 0? You may now select your answer. And that ends this activity in section 3.2.